Tuesday, December 5th. The year was 23. 2:12 in the morning. The phone rings. Hi, Mike. This is Dr. Weston. I'm a colorectal surgeon calling from Scripps Hospital. I'm sitting with your wife, Angela. If I don't do this emergency surgery on her colon right now, she's likely to not live through the night. Imagine if you got that phone call from Dr. Weston in the middle of the night. Immediately, I call Angela. No way, Mike. I'm not doing the surgery. I'd rather call hospice and go home. For the next hour, I'm trying to talk her into the surgery. Then it hit me. Let go. It's her decision, Mike, not yours. Letting go of decisions that other people make that we don't like or agree with is very hard to do. But it's necessary. Back to Dr. Weston and Angela. The mountain would soon get steeper. But we're going to push pause for a few minutes and revisit this, because you need to know the backstory. And here it is. February 13th, 1985, Durango, Colorado. 2 years before I met her, Angela fell off a mountain, 150 feet. Broke her bones in 162 places and lived. That's why I went to Antarctica. I'll explain. It all started in August of 2001 when I walked into a bookstore one day and I found this book titled Shackleton's Way. In 1914, Ernest Shackleton led 27 others into Antarctica, only to become shipwrecked and stranded for 2 years. And miraculously, they all made it out alive. Their journey changed not only the lives of the 28, more importantly, it would go on to change the lives of millions of people to come. This is the story of how it changed mine and how it can change yours. How did they get out of there? The picture answers the question. They let go. They let go of everything they could not control. The ship stuck in the ice. We spend far too much of our time sawing ships from the ice. Instead, they focused on everything they could control. The game, also known as their response. Now, when I say letting go, I don't just mean ignoring it or pretending it's not there. What I mean is just let it be. Just be okay with it. The ship's stuck. Just be okay with it. You can't do anything about it. Now, the list of things that all of us need to let go of every day is rather extensive. Last time I checked, for most of us. Anger, jealousy, bitterness, control, leaders and managers. Guys, take notes on this one. Letting go of fixing people. Yes, I see some of the women snickering. Hold on a minute, ladies, you're not off the hook. What you've got to let go of are all the little piddly annoyances that you store up to be used as weapons in future fights. Well, you always do this, and 10 years ago you did that. Look, I have 35 years in the marriage game. I know how it's played, right? Letting go of yesterday and everything in the rearview mirror. What happened 10 years ago, 5 years ago. It's not easy, right? It's easy to understand. It's hard to do. But that's where the power of this picture comes in. Because what you should do, you should download the picture and blow it up. And put it in a place where you'll see it. Every time you see this picture, for the rest of your life, you're going to think about the things you have to let go of. Letting go is just one of dozens of lessons that Shackleton's story brings to us. Now, I was so inspired by this guy, I decided to follow him, literally, all the way to Antarctica. In the year 2006, I did go to Antarctica twice to run both a marathon and a 100-kilometer ultra-marathon on an ice shelf located 600 miles from the South Pole. Before you start laughing, there's more. Okay? How does a guy from San Diego, California, prepare for a place called Antarctica? And your wife's not going to move to Siberia, right? The answer? You talk your way into a freezer. I ran back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, 59 feet at a time, at 30 degrees below zero for 2 years. I'm sure I'm not the smartest TED guy that's ever shown up, right? Now, the value of the freezer had very little to do with temperature, but rather the value of the freezer had everything to do with the monotony of the back and forth. Because you see, it was the back and forth that built the mental muscles, that taught me to see difficulty differently. I learned to see difficulty as an ally, not as an enemy. I learned to see difficulty as something to embrace and move toward, not elude and run away from. That mindset not only enabled me to do what I did in Antarctica, more importantly, it prepared me for the most important and the most difficult Antarctic moment of my entire life, which was December of 23. After declining the colon surgery, miraculously, Angela lived through the night. But the mountain would soon get steeper. Her medical problems started to compound. Things became unfixable. On December 10th of 23, we were sitting in the hospital and we were talking about this. And she said, "Mike, there's no way this is going to work. At best, I'll be alive, but I won't be living." And I'm like, well, we can't quit, right? We teach our kids, don't be quitters, because quitters are what? I've heard it, losers, right? We can't quit. Mike, there's quitting and there's letting go. Wisdom is to know the difference. Most people are familiar with the Kenny Rogers song. Know when to hold them, know when to... Right, sometimes it just makes sense to fold and let go, right? And then she said to me, "Mike, it's time to unplug and go home." Unplug means no medical intervention. No pills, no doctors, no knives, no nothing. I couldn't get there. She looked at me and she said, "Mike, I need you to go back in the freezer." I knew exactly what she meant. "Mike, I'm going that way. It's the end of my life." "You're going that way, trying to save it." "Mike, I need you to turn around and go into the storm with me. I need you to be the buffalo, one of the only animals instinctively in the world that runs into the storm as opposed to running away from it." And that was the moment I pivoted. I pivoted, and together, hand in hand, we unplugged and we came home, leaving the hospital for the last time on December 21st. On December 28th, I'm sitting with her in hospice. And you know, hospice does not make people better, but they certainly make sure people don't hurt. So I'm sitting there with her, and I'm talking to her early in the morning on December 28th. I spent the entire morning reliving 35 years. She can hear me and understand me even though she can't respond. At about 11:45 in the morning, man, I was on overload. I said, "Ange, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go have lunch. I'll be back. I love you." "Thank you." for 35 years. I left. 15 minutes later, Angela left for the last time. The 35-year chapter is over. What do you do now? You talk about being lost. You don't know lost until you lose a person or a pet. Isn't the house like spooky quiet when that happens? It's amazing. What do I do? I heard God's voice. You know what to do, Mike. No, I can't let her go. Angela is the first and only girlfriend of my entire life. Literally. I'm one of those rare people that hit the lottery and I only bought one ticket. Mike, I know it hurts. Pain is inevitable. And the pain of loss is about as sharp as it gets in the world. Pain is inevitable, Mike. Suffering is a choice. Suffering is pain times resistance. Mike, you can't let go of the pain. It hurts. You can let go of the fight and the resistance. And that's what I did. And as I did so, doors started to open. And one of the doors that opened was a door named Ellie. We met on Facebook in April of last year, of 24. And she lived in Los Angeles, and I'm like, okay, well, she's kind of cute. Let's just see if we can get into a conversation. So we did. We agreed to meet for lunch. I took the train up to Los Angeles on May 29th. We had lunch, and we had a really good conversation. And so we decided we wanted to do it again. And then it was again and again and again. And by July, we knew there was something there. On August 30th, I got down on one knee. Will you marry me? Her response, are you serious? I'm on the ground and I didn't fall, right? And on November 30th, 90 days later, we were married. Ellie is an angel of God. This lady is so great. I should do a TED Talk on the art of marriage. I mean, this lady is just fantastic. And I look back on this period of my life, and I say to myself, how did you do this? A lot of people ask me that question. Well, the answer is very simple. I let go. For every chapter 1 in your life that concludes, you can write the next chapter. Ellie is chapter 2. All possible because I learned to let go. It worked for Ernest Shackleton and 27 others in 1914. It worked for me during the 2 hardest years of my life. And it will work for all of you as you too keep conquering and keep moving forward through all the Antarctic moments in your life. Thank you and God bless. My name is Antarctic Mike.